Well, hey everybody, Don Wilson here, that digging guy from Diggintime, USA. Now, it's January 1st, 2017. I've been wanting to do this review for a long time, so I figured I'd throw this stuff out here on the deck because it's actually about 48 degrees today. Very nice. And show you some things. And we're going to get started with what's called the Ecozoom stove. This is a really cool stove. What can I tell you about this? I got this on Amazon. It is a bucket style stove. The air door down below. A very thick burning chamber. And this, if you can see that down in there, is cast iron. The top is cast iron. The chamber is all stainless steel down in there. Very well made unit. It weighs about 15 pounds. Let's see. It's about 9.5 inches wide and about 11 inches tall, almost 12. And the cool thing is this is a biomass rocket type stove. When you buy it, it comes with this little rack here, so you can lay sticks in here and feed them in this way. And there is a technique to doing this. You want to make sure that you put the bottom door on the inside of this leg right here. That's sit over me now. That way you can regulate the airflow or even shut it off completely. Naturally, when you're using this door here is going to be open, so you don't need to close that. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how that works. Then I'm also going to show you the solo stove here, which is a backpacker stove. Very light, well made, expensive as heck, but you know, this thing here cost me around, I think it was $130 on Amazon. This little guy here cost about $80. And you know, Diggintime USA is all about camping too. I just do more, although I haven't done any videos in a while, I seem to do more on metal detecting than I do camping, and I kind of want to mix it up. So we're going to cook us 3 quarter-pound hamburgers on this bad boy today. Let me tell you about a couple of things about this thing. I did some modifications to it because there's some safety factors involved here. When you're using this thing, especially for a long period of time, it does get hot on the bottom. So sitting it on a piece of wood or on your tailgate of your truck without putting something underneath it, such as maybe a tile. I've used this before, just a floor tile, old floor tile. It isn't even good enough. I wouldn't put that on my tailgate to work this thing, because the heat will actually go through that tile and melt your tailgate, your the truck bed liner. So I don't recommend sitting this on the bare ground either, because this is not stainless, and eventually moisture will ruin the bottom of that. This is also lined with fire clay, so it takes a while for this out here to get hot, but it'll get hot, so hot you can't touch it. So I did a modification. Let me set this down. I'll show you what my modification was here. I created this little stand here. I just happened to have some stainless steel. This is the top off of the Lazy Susan, and I screwed some legs on it to keep it this high off the ground. The only thing I haven't done to it is put some pegs on here to keep it from sinking into the ground. But even if all you have is this stuck in the ground, that's okay. And this, you can actually sit on top of that tile down there and using the tailgate of my truck, and it works fine. So as far as safety goes, these handles are covered with a silicone rubber that doesn't get hot. You can pick this thing up and move it even when you got a fire going in it, if you're careful. So that's about it. So we're going to show you how this thing performs, and then the other stove, the backpacking stove that I have. I'm trying to get you down here. The solo stove. Now there's lots of reviews on this equipment on YouTube. This isn't going on YouTube. This is just basically going to go on my club page. I'll probably break this down, edit it down into a couple of episodes. Like you can see, I've used this. Very small. You flip this out as your cook surface. And what we're going to do with this, I'll just use this for that today. And we'll show you how this works. And I got 2 cups of water in this. We're going to see if we can percolate some coffee. I've never tried that. That'll be interesting. So this is all stainless steel. And this is a gasifier stove. When you get done using this, there won't be anything in here but ash. There won't be anything in here but ash. It's a great little stove. So we'll get that one going too. And it packs away like that. You just flip that upside down. That's how small it is. And as far as measurements go, that's 4 1/4 inches wide, 4 inches tall. So we're going to get to that. So let's take a break here, and then let's take a quick break here. I'll get things set up. I have a couple of things of scrap wood here. Got the small stuff for the small stove and larger stuff for the bigger stove. I hope I'm getting that right. I'm not very good at this. And we'll get it set up and rocking and rolling, and I'll get back with you here in just a minute. Let me get it set up. Okay, we're back. So all I'm going to do, I'm not going to use my fancy, I'm not going to go caveman style here and use my striker. I'm going to use a lighter. Now this will smoke in the beginning, but when you get this thing really roaring and it's lit right, very little smoke. Very little smoke. Same thing with this. So we'll go ahead and light this dude too. I love this thing. I really do. Put the lid on there. Stick another piece in there just for fun. Now here, I've cut a bunch of scrap up out of my shop down to small pieces that I can stick in there. So don't throw your scrap away. Just throw them in there. How's everyone doing over there? Once this one gets going, it works really well. And this will do the same thing. It'll barely smoke at all. Whenever you use like fat wood to start a fire, it's going to smoke because there's a lot of resin in this. So it's just naturally going to smoke. The idea behind this is the pretty much same thing as this. You get a good bed of coals going in there, throw your coffee up on there, and you can feed through the slot little pieces of wood. And this could be pine cones. You could put a piece of charcoal in that, which I've done. 1 or 2 bricks of charcoal. It'll last a really long time. Won't even have to feed it. Or if you're out in the woods, this is why backpackers like it so much. Is because just pine cones, leaves, pine needles, whatever you can grab off the ground to get it started, and then just little twigs. You don't have to go out foraging for a lot of wood. And excuse me. And you don't have to carry any fuel or another stove. You know, where you screw the stove top onto the small can of fuel. And this is very stable. If you set it down nice and level, it's great. Makes a great ashtray. The only reason I won't set this pot on here now is because I don't know what that handle's made out of. This is an antique almost small coffee pot. I just want to see if it'll percolate. This is aluminum here. This I used last night for the first time. I got both of these for free from a neighbor that was throwing them away. And oh man, I made a great cup of coffee. Great cup of coffee. I've seen a couple people on YouTube who would just throw a wired grate on top of this and use it like a grill to cook their hamburgers or steak or whatever. I don't recommend that because the grease drips down into your chamber, creates a big mess. But I mean, if you want to do it that way, that's okay. Instead, I got this cast iron Victoria grill on one side, griddle on the other side. It's 10 inches. It fits the top of that perfectly. I've got this on Amazon as well. I've got Arizona on my mind again. So that's what we're going to cook our burgers on. Another good thing about this stove too is that I've actually used it instead of a campfire right here on the deck to in the evenings to take off the chill, and it works really well. Once it warms up, it's still cold on the outside. We actually put it underneath here between us. Put a couple of charcoal briquettes in it, maybe 4 or 5. We'll light it. Once the fire dies down and it stops smoking, it keeps you, the warm air rises up underneath this thing and just keeps you nice and toasty like a fireplace. So the thing about cooking on something like this, at least for me, is I wait till I have enough wood in it that the flame isn't shooting up there like that. Because all that's got to do is make the plate really hot, the cast iron really hot, overheated, and your burger's going to burn on the outside and not cook on the inside. So, and you may say, well, it just takes you forever to do that. Well, you know, keep in mind this is supposed to be fun, and half the fun is not having to worry about time. So I'm not really concerned about it. I'm sitting right here where I'm standing. I'm about 2.5 feet away from it, and I just feel nice, warm, toasty air against the side of my face. It's as good as a campfire. But once it starts getting warm on the outside, it just radiates that heat in all directions. If you wanted to set up a reflector behind it, you could radiate that heat right back at you. And have it fairly close to you, and it wouldn't be dangerous. So it's perfect for car camping, truck camping, whatever. Anyways, I'm going to pause this right now. I'll let this get going. I'll turn the camera back on when I'm ready to throw the burgers on. And that'll free me up a little bit more to do some more video. So we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, well, let's get this party started. As you can see here, I've got my coffee on. I'll just put the coffee on there. That should start percolating, I'm going to say, in 10 minutes or so. Like I said, I don't know about this handle. These were made to take a lot of heat. But I'm trying to keep the flames directly off of it. Got my griddle sitting up here. It's warmed up. Let's throw some burgers on. See what happens. Oh yeah. Your little hamburger seasoning and extra salt. Yeah. Have a look. Damp the fire down just a little bit. Coffee's doing good. If that was coffee, it isn't percolating yet. But it looks like it's not going to be far from it. Just like any fire, you got to tend to it. Which is the fun part. See here, we've got some percolation going on. So if that was coffee brown, it'd be brewing. That's awesome. So it can be done on that little solo stove. That little stove's great for like freeze-dried foods, soups. You know, one container meals. And that's really all you need in your backpack, right? I think it's time for cheese. Okay, one other thing you got to remember about this cast iron is even though I'm ready to put the cheese on there, I almost did it, I forgot, that this cast iron will retain its heat for a while. So these hamburgers don't have to be cooked fully, completely. They can still be a little pink in the middle. You can take the cast iron off, set it aside, throw your cheese on, and they'll finish up cooking on that grill because it'll hold enough heat to finish cooking. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take them inside. So that's what I did. I just brought them inside, put them in the center of the gas range, and you can see they're still cooking. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw some cheese on them. Yeah, I'll leave one without cheese. There's one person in the house that doesn't care for cheese. You can believe that. I'll just leave that sit. Outside, come on. You coming? You coming out? Come on. Oh well. So now we'll just keep the fire going for fun. So it's a couple of great little stoves I've been wanting to show people these on my channel because I know we all like going camping, right? I just like to tinker with this stuff. When I go camping, whether I take my RV or if I go out tent camping, which I haven't done in a long time, but my favorite thing to do is build the fire and play with the stuff in the kitchen. So in the future I'll do some more reviews. I have a lot of equipment that I've been wanting to do reviews on, and I will eventually get around to that. So, Solo stove, around $80. And they make these in 3 different sizes, these Solo stoves. And this is the backpacker version, and then they have another one that's a little bit bigger, and then another one that's a lot bigger. It's called the Campfire, I think. It's almost as big as that. And Ecozoom, $85, about $130 for this one. I think they're well worth it. I mean, if you get into a situation where the power's out and you don't have a gas stove or whatever, it takes very little fuel to cook meals on this. You won't have to go foraging for firewood at all, really. And if I did, right across the street from me is enough crap laying on the ground I could burn. So, 2 great products for camping in emergencies. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it came out alright. I guess I won't know until I try editing it, and I'm not real good at that either. So we'll try and chop it up so it's not so long, or we'll break it into 2 little 15-minute segments or something. So have a great day, and we'll see you next time here at Diggintime, USA.